Hi, and welcome to Art with Mrs. Torres. You may not recognize me. You might be new this year, or maybe you are viewing me for the first time and you kind of are wondering who is this lady and how is she going to teach me art? So, this year is going to be a little different. If you were at our school, you'd be walking into my art room, but this year, you're going to be entering into my little art studio in my backyard. So we're going to be doing some online art lessons, but don't worry. The best part about online art lessons is that if I am moving too quickly, all you have to do is push pause on your video at any time to catch up. Now that's even better than being in person, right? I am going to miss giving you hugs and seeing you when you walk into my classroom and seeing your face light up when you're excited about an art lesson, but we're going to make it work the best we can. So if you keep watching, we're going to be starting with our very first lesson, and this lesson I think you're going to like. Now, I don't want you to worry about having to have really difficult art supplies because for the first couple lessons, all we're going to be needing is, I think you have these things, a pencil, an eraser, some type of marker. I use Sharpie markers, so if you have one of these, that would be awesome. If you don't, you could also use a black crayon or a black colored pencil. And then the other thing you're going to need to look for is something to color with. I'm going to be using crayons, but if you don't have crayons, you could use colored pencils or even markers. So this is all you're going to need for drawing our first lesson. The last thing you're going to need is some type of piece of paper to draw on. Now, I just use the paper that comes out of my printer, just a piece of white paper. So I'm only going to have you gather those items up in our first lesson, and then you're going to have fun. So I hope you enjoyed this lesson, and I can't wait to one day meet you in person. All right, let's begin our lesson.
Today we're going to be making a self-portrait. Now this self-portrait has a little surprise inside. We're going to be drawing a picture of us wearing our mask with a little surprise inside. I like to call this project Behind the Mask. I got this idea from another artist named Cassie Stevens on YouTube. Let's begin by first gathering a couple items. Now the first thing I want you to look for in your house will be a piece of paper. I'm using the paper out of my printer. You're also going to need a pencil, an eraser, and I can use the eraser on the end of my pencil also, a marker. I'm using a Sharpie marker, and something to color with. You can use crayons or colored pencils. Now you might notice my crayons are inside of a coffee mug. That's the way I store my crayons when I'm doing art. That way I can see all my colors. So pause the video, go gather up these items, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 items, and possibly a cup to put your crayons or colored pencils in, and then meet me back here. All right, now that you're back, let's begin. First thing we're going to be doing is taking our paper and making sure it's vertical or tall like a door. Next, we're going to take the bottom of our paper and we're going to fold it up so it lines up at the top. And then we're going to rub our finger across the bottom and make our first fold right here. So it's open at the top, closed at the bottom. We're going to take the bottom half and we're going to fold it up one more time all the way up to the top, lining it up and folding it again. Now take the first half that we just folded up and bring it back down again. Now we have two pieces up here at the top. You're going to take one piece and fold it back down again. So now you'll notice it can open and close. Keeping it closed here, we're going to start drawing the top of our face here. That will be this part of our drawing. We're going to be starting with this area here. I'm going to be using my pencil first. Now the first thing I want to do is set my finger in the middle right here because I'm going to be drawing my eyes on either side of the center where my finger is resting. So the first line I'm going to draw is a large rainbow for my eye. Now you want that to be pretty big. You should be able to fit your finger very comfortably inside there. Otherwise it's going to get too small and it's going to be hard for you to trace over with your marker. Now putting my finger back in the middle of the paper, I'm going to draw another rainbow on the other side. And then I'm going to close it off at the bottom. And that's pretty easy to do because you're just running your pencil along the edge where the fold is. Inside there, I'm going to draw a large circle for my eyeball on both sides. Don't worry if your circles aren't perfectly round. Inside this circle, I'm going to draw a half of a circle up here at the top, kind of like the letter U. This is going to be my highlight that's going to stay white later when I color my picture. See the highlights? Now once I've finished drawing my eyes, I'm going to add a soft little curved line right next to the top of my eye for my eyebrow. If you would like to, you can add eyelids across the top here, or you can also add eyelashes. These are just extra details you don't have to put in. Next, we're going to draw our hairline. So our hairline is where our hair grows out from our forehead. It's going to be right above my eyebrow, and I'm just going to make a dot very lightly in the center, and I'm going to trace that dot around and come right down next to my face on this side, and then I'm going to match it on this side. I'm trying not to draw really dark, that way when I go in with my eraser later it's going to be easier to erase. I'm going to add the top of my ear on this side and the top of my ear on the other side. Now the next part is going to be the top of our head. So the top of my head you can see right here. The top of this head for this boy I drew here. So we're going to start now by drawing the top of our head. So for now, we're not going to worry about what style hair we have. We're just going to draw a line above our hairline, and we're going to draw kind of like a helmet around our head. Looks kind of like we have a rainbow over our head. That's going to end up being our hair later. Now, if you have short hair, you're going to connect that rainbow right down to your ears. See how I did that here and here? If you have longer hair, you're going to leave that rainbow and later we'll color it. The next part is to decide whether you have bangs in the front or a part in your hair. So here I made a side part with some bangs. You can see I just made a zigzag line for this hairstyle. You could do the same thing if your bangs are longer and bring them closer to your eyes. Now if you don't have bangs, you could just part your hair wherever you part your hair and make one long curved line that comes down to your ear and one on the other side. Now the next thing you're going to do when we're finished with this is erase any lines that you don't want to keep. So my hair on this picture is going to be covering up part of the top of my head. So I'm going to go in with my eraser and erase that part. And right over here, I'm going to erase this little part right here. Now, if you made bangs on your forehead like this, you might have to erase a little bit of your eyebrow. Now, once you've designed the top of your hair, then we're going to go around and we're going to finish our face here on the folded paper. So I like to come right here in the middle, come down to the bottom. This is the piece of paper that's folded up like this. This is going to be the bottom of my face where my mask is, and I'm going to make a little dot here at the bottom, and then I'm going to connect my side of my face right here down, curving it around to make a chin on both sides. I'm drawing very light. That way, if I make a mistake, it'll be a lot easier for me to erase later. Now, once I've drawn kind of this U shape here, I'm going to draw the bottom of my ear and the bottom of my ear on this side, and then my neck. So I'm going to draw a line coming down on this side and a line coming down on this side. And then I'm going to finish the bottom of my hair. So if you have short hair, your hair is going to stop here at your ears. If your hair is medium length, maybe it comes down to your chin, then you would want to bring your hair down to wherever it stops growing on both sides so it matches. Now this is not my style hair, but I'm just showing you lots of different ideas here. This is more my style. My hair goes all the way off the bottom of the paper. Now once you've drawn this, then we're going to go in and draw our mask. Now the most important part about your mask is that it needs to cover your nose. Your nose would be here. So we want to make sure that you are wearing your mask the proper way. So we want to draw a curved line all the way across the top of this portion of the paper, because your mask should be covering your nose. You might have noticed some people are wearing their mask underneath their nose, but it's safer to wear it covering up your nose and your mouth. All right, now once we've done this part, then we're going to go in and we're going to take our marker and trace over these lines with our marker. So go ahead and get your marker, put the end of your marker on the back, that way you don't lose it. And we're going to start to trace over our lines. I'm going to trace over my eyes. And my eye falls inside here. I'm going to trace that little half circle where my highlight is. If you added an eyelid, you can trace that in now. If you added eyelashes, you can trace those in too. And then I'm going to add a little bit extra darkness around my highlight. See how I'm making my pupil a little darker? So I'm just making it a little darker here. I'm still saving some space at the bottom. That way I can color the colored part of my eye, that's your iris, later. So if you have blue eyes or brown eyes or green eyes, that's the space that we'll color later with our crayons or colored pencils. I'm going to very lightly go over the eyebrow, and then I'm going to trace the top of my head. So you are tracing your style hair too. Don't forget your hairline. So if you have smooth hair, all one length that you can tuck behind your ears, you can do that. You might have a middle part. Maybe you have bangs. If you have bangs, you're tracing those bangs. Then I'm going to trace the sides of my face and my chin. And my ears. And my neck. And the last, most important part is my mask. Now once I'm finished with that, you can go in now with your marker if you want to and add just a few lines for your hair. You don't have to do this, but it's just an added little detail. And then once we're done with this part of our drawing, we're going to close up our marker, put it back out of the way. We're going to get our pencil again, and we will work on the inside of our drawing. So I'm going to fold this whole piece down like this. Now you could open it all the way like this, so it's one long piece, but I think it's easier just to grab this whole section and fold it down like that. Now we're going to be drawing the inside of our face in this section here. So this is where we're going to be drawing. We folded that piece down. We're going to be working on the bottom part of our face now. Okay, grabbing my marker, my pencil. You don't want to use your marker. Pencil, I'm going to draw the bottom of my chin. So the way I do that is I find the center of my eyes here. I run my finger down and I make a very light dot. You want to make it light. You don't want it too dark. And that will give me a center point for drawing the bottom of my face. So from here, I'm just going to make a large U for my chin from both sides. You'll notice I'm drawing pretty light. The lighter that you draw, the easier it's going to be to erase if you make a mistake. Next, I'm going to add the bottom of my ear. Now this part will get a little easier because we've already done it once before. And then I'm going to finish drawing the bottom of the hair. And you want it to match whatever you did when your paper was closed. And you want to finish your neck. We almost forgot my neck. Now I'm not going to be drawing the mask this time. This time I'm going to be drawing a smiling face. So when I draw my face, I'm going to add a nose and then a big open mouth. So right here between my eyes, just below that fold, I'm going to draw a nose. Now you can draw either a smile-shaped nose like this, or you could draw a rainbow-shaped nose like this. You'll have to decide what style nose you want to draw. Or you can draw another style nose if you like to draw a different style. So I'm going to be drawing a smile-shaped nose like this. And then I've got this big space here to draw my mouth. So you could draw a little half crooked smile like this. Or you could draw a big smile. So if I'm going to be drawing a big smile with my mouth open, I want to draw my upper lip close to my nose. Kind of looks like I'm getting ready to draw a mustache. I'm going to add 2 cheek lines on both sides. Now it looks like I have a giant chin, but I'm going to open up my mouth here. So I'm going to start right here in the corner and start to draw the sides of my mouth on both sides. Now I like to do this, it'll help you to make your mouth a little bit more even. And then I'm going to bring it around to the bottom and connect it on the other side. And I'm also going to add a little lower lip like this. Now inside here, I could draw one line across the middle and that would give me my upper teeth and my bottom teeth. Or I could draw the upper teeth and then draw a little tongue at the bottom. So I'm going to let you decide what style mouth you want to draw. So I'm going to draw a little curved line here for my upper teeth. I can leave it like that and it looks like I've got a big smile. Or I can come right here at the bottom, find the center, and I just kind of draw, it almost looks like a bird flying. 2 curved lines like that. That's going to be my tongue. Now the last part of my drawing here is I'm going to draw a curved line to connect my neck from side to side like I have a shirt on, and I'm going to draw a nice curved shoulder on both sides. Now I'm not going to make my shirt really detailed, I'm going to keep it pretty simple. But from here I'm going to take and get my marker now and trace over all the lines I want to keep. Now before I do that, I'm going to erase anything that I don't want to trace over. So I'm using my magic rubber eraser. You can use the end of your pencil if that works better. I'm just erasing anything I don't want to keep for later. And now I'm going to go over my lines with my marker. And one little trick I think works the best when you're working with these Sharpie markers is that the faster that you draw, the smoother your line will be. The slower you draw, the more bumpy your line is. So I like to kind of keep my hand moving as quick as I can. Now, if you make a mistake, don't worry. Half the time when we make a mistake, we think everyone's going to notice, but most of the time people don't see that. They just see the beautiful artwork that you did. So I'm just tracing over my lines. And I'm going to add a little hairline here to match what I did, so it matches my picture when it's folded. When you're all finished, you're going to take your eraser and you're going to very gently go over your paper. Now I have a trick for erasing, and my trick is I want you to keep your hand flat on the table with this space right here. I call this the duck's mouth. So if you have one hand flat on the table and your thumb can move up and down like a duck saying quack, and you only erase in the duck's mouth, your paper won't wrinkle. So I'm just very gently erasing my paper in the duck's mouth. Now if I erase outside of the duck's mouth, like over here, over here, over here, my paper is going to wrinkle. And you see how it wrinkles? I don't want it to wrinkle. So I keep my hand flat on the paper and I very gently erase. Now the lighter that you draw, the easier it's going to be for you to erase your pencil lines. When you're all done erasing all your pencil lines, we're going to close up our picture like this. Now I want you to design something on the front of your mask. So for my mask here, I drew some stripes across the top, and I just colored them like the rainbow. Or maybe you want to make some polka dots. Maybe you want to draw something that has to do with a sport you like to play. So pause the video and design something on your mask, and when you're done, turn it back on and we'll move on from there. So if you're ready to move on, what we're going to do now is we're going to start to color. I'll be using crayons. However, if you've got colored pencils, those will work too. So the first thing you're going to do is find a color that matches your skin tone. So I like to lay the colors out over my hand and find one that's the closest to my skin color. I want you to do the same. And then you're going to color your picture while it's closed. So I'm going to color my ears first. I'm going to color my neck second. And the reason I'm going to color my neck second is a lot of times I forget to color my neck. At the end of the picture, I'll end up looking like I have skin-colored face and a neck that's made out of marshmallows. You want to color your neck, and then I'm going to color the top of my face right next to my mask, and I'm going to color in between my eyes and any part of your forehead and face that's showing. When you're done coloring your face and your ears and your neck, then you're going to open up your picture and you're going to continue coloring your face on the inside. Now when I'm coloring, I try to keep my crayon moving in the same direction as best I can. Every once in a while, my crayon might move in another direction. Now I'm not going to color my teeth while I'm using my skin color, just my chin. Don't forget the bottoms of your ears and your neck. When you're done coloring your skin, you can add a little bit of skin color to your tongue. And we will add some pink over it later. Once you're done coloring your face, Then you can go in and you can use a red or a pink, and color a little bit of pink in your tongue, if you drew a tongue. And next we're going to figure out the color of your eyes and your hair. So I'm going to have you pause your video, go look at yourself in the mirror, and take some crayons with you so that you can figure out what color your hair is. So for instance, if you have blonde hair, you're going to want to be using some yellow and brown to make your hair blonde. If you have dark brown hair, you might want to use some black and brown to make dark brown. If you have red hair, you can use a little orange and brown together. Once you've discovered what color your hair is, you're going to come back in and use your crayons to color your hair. You want to color your hair while your paper's open, as well as coloring your paper while it's closed. And it all should match. So now I want you to pause your video while I keep coloring here. You're going to go in, check out what color your hair is, look in the mirror, and then come on back and start coloring your hair. While you're looking in the mirror, you might want to look and see what color your eyes are, because that will be our next thing that we draw, or color, I mean. So if you've come back and you've figured out what color your hair and your eyes are, you're going to get your crayons or colored pencils and you're going to start to color your hair. Now, if I'm moving too fast, go ahead and pause the video, turn it back on whenever you're ready to start again. And you see that I'm closing up my picture also while I'm working so that my hair looks the same whether my picture is open or shut. Okay, whenever you're finished coloring your hair, next is to figure out what color your eyes are. So you might have green eyes, or maybe you have brown eyes, or maybe you have hazel eyes. Hazel eyes are brown and green mixed together. Maybe you have blue eyes. I have hazel eyes, but my son Joe has blue eyes. My other son has green eyes. Now, once you're done coloring your eyes, then it's time to color your mask. So this is where you get to have some fun figuring out what you're going to do with your mask. So you're going to pause your video and you're going to come back when your mask is all colored. So for me, I'm going to be making a pink mask with some different colored hearts. Now, if you have the video on while I'm coloring, I bet you are coloring way nicer than Mrs. Torres. I'm kind of hurrying as I do this. I know that your work's going to look a lot better than mine, and that is awesome. Just do your best and have fun. I wonder what color I should make my hearts. Now, I could make them all one color, but I'm going to make them different colors, I think. Do you see how easy it is to use our crayons when they're inside of a mug or a glass? I can see all the colors I want to use and they're easy to grab. Whereas if they're in a box, they're kind of hard to pull out of the box. And then this is what happens to me. They always tumble and land on the floor while I'm working. When you're all finished designing your mask and coloring it all in, then we're going to color our background. So think about, what do you want to do for your background? You can do one color. You could do two colors. In this one, I did blue and purple because these are my two favorite colors. Or maybe you just want to do lots of different colors. This is another place where I want you to be creative. You don't even have to color stripes. You could make hearts. You could do a rainbow. Maybe you want to start with red, orange, yellow, green, blue, purple. Look at how pretty that would be. So, love rainbow. So if you wanted to do that, you could color a rainbow. Did you just see that crayon fly? Oh my goodness. Do you know the colors of the rainbow? Red, orange, yellow, green, blue, and then there's this one color called indigo. And indigo is a mixture of blue and purple. And then the final color is purple. They spell the word Roy G. Biv. Did you know that? Red, orange, yellow, green, blue, purple. If you take the first letter out of each one of those words, it spells Roy G. Biv. So once you've colored your background, you're going to open up your picture. And now you're going to be creative on the inside. So this is where you get to have a little fun. So for instance, right here between my teeth and my tongue, I think I'm going to add a little bit of shadow so that my tongue and my teeth show up a little brighter. So I'm just going to put a little black in there. Now in here, this is where I want to learn a little bit about you. So if you look at my picture here, can you tell what my favorite food is? Chocolate. Something I like to do, I like to draw and I love art. Another thing about me is my favorite color. What's my favorite color? So this is one idea. Here's another idea. Maybe if you did a sports thing, you might want to draw some things that have to do with sports. Or maybe you would just want to tell me some funny things about you. So maybe you're silly, maybe you're happy. Maybe people say you're a lot of fun to be around. This is where you get to be creative and have fun. So I hope you had fun doing our project today. When your picture is all finished being colored, the best part is I get to see you this way and I get to see you behind your mask. So I hope you had fun with our very first art lesson, Art with Mrs. Torres, and I will see you for our next one. Have a wonderful day.